What if the biggest control in your life doesn't look like control at all? No shouting, no rules, no obvious pressure, just small words, tiny reactions. And somehow, you start becoming someone you don't even recognize. Think about this. You're about to make a decision. Something simple, like posting something online or saying yes to an opportunity. But right before you do it, a voice appears in your head. Maybe this isn't a good idea. People might judge you. Better play safe. And suddenly, you stop. No one forced you. No one physically held you back. But still, you didn't move. And here's the uncomfortable truth. That voice might not even be yours. Mental control doesn't usually look aggressive. It doesn't come with commands or threats. It hides inside normal conversations. It blends into advice, concern, even care. And slowly, it starts changing how you think, how you decide, and how you see yourself. Not all at once, but quietly, repeatedly. Ever noticed how some people never directly disagree with you? They just make you question yourself? You say something with confidence, and they respond with, "Are you sure? I don't remember it that way." Maybe you're overthinking. At first it feels normal, just a difference of opinion. But over time, you begin to doubt your own memory, your own feelings, your own judgment. On the surface, they seem calm and logical. But underneath, something deeper is happening. They're not controlling what you do. They're influencing what you believe is true. Imagine someone who often shares their thoughts openly. Every time they express something personal, the other person slightly twists it. Not enough to start a fight, just enough to create doubt. And slowly, they stop expressing themselves. Not because they were silenced, but because they no longer trust their own voice. That's how control begins. Not by taking your freedom away, but by making you unsure of how to use it. Sometimes control feels like care. Don't do that, it's risky. I'm just looking out for you. I don't want you to get hurt. It sounds protective, it feels genuine. But there's one question that changes everything. Why does their care always lead to you doing less? Real care expands you. It gives you confidence. But control, disguised as care, quietly builds fear. It looks supportive, but it limits your growth. Imagine someone who always steps in right before you try something new. Not forcefully, just gently suggesting you wait, think more, or avoid risk. And eventually, you stop trying. Not because you can't, but because hesitation becomes normal. And slowly, your world gets smaller. Not because life restricted you, but because someone shaped how safe you feel inside it. Not all control is loud. Some of it is painfully quiet. No arguments, no confrontation, just silence. Cold replies, delayed responses, distance without explanation. And suddenly, you find yourself overthinking everything. What did I do wrong? Why are they acting like this? Should I fix this? You begin adjusting your behavior just to bring things back to normal. This is control through silence. They don't tell you what they want. They make you figure it out by taking away warmth. And your mind starts chasing approval. No demands, but full control. No instructions, but constant adjustment. From your side, imagine someone who becomes distant. Every time things don't go their way, no explanation, no communication, just emotional absence. And over time, you learn to avoid upsetting them. Not because they told you to, but because silence became uncomfortable. And just like that, you start managing your actions around their moods. Control becomes stronger. When your world becomes smaller, at first it's subtle. They question certain people in your life, make small negative comments. I don't think they're good for you. They don't really understand you like I do. It doesn't sound controlling, but it slowly changes how you see others. And once your perception changes, your distance follows. It feels like clarity, but it creates isolation. It sounds like honesty, but it builds dependency. Imagine someone slowly drifting away from friends, not because of conflict, but because one voice kept influencing how they viewed everyone else. And eventually, that one voice becomes the loudest in their life. And when that happens, control doesn't need effort anymore. And then comes the most dangerous part. There's no obvious problem, no clear toxicity, but something feels off. You feel drained after conversations. You second guess yourself constantly. And emotionally, you feel smaller. Because mental control doesn't always break you loudly. Sometimes, it just slowly lowers your confidence, your energy, your sense of self. When someone controls your mind, you don't lose your freedom instantly. You lose your clarity first. And without clarity, freedom doesn't feel like freedom anymore. Not every influence is control, but when something consistently makes you doubt yourself, shrink your world, or disconnect from who you were, it's worth noticing, not reacting immediately, not confronting instantly, just noticing. Because awareness is where control begins to weaken. Sometimes the strongest control is the one you never question. So ask yourself, are your thoughts really yours? Or just something that was quietly planted? Over time,